So is it anxiety or is it something else? So, hi guys. Today we're going to go ahead and just discuss it. It's a really important question. Is it anxiety or could it be something else? Many people experience symptoms that feel overwhelming, but understanding what's really going on can be tricky. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about it and see where we go from here. First of all, anxiety can manifest in various ways. I mean, there's many ways that it can manifest, but sometimes the symptoms can overlap with other issues. So, how do you know what you're dealing with? Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit more. First off, let's go ahead and review some of those common symptoms of anxiety. These can include persistent worry, fear, restlessness, feeling, just keyed up, muscle tension, trouble sleeping, irritability. All of those can be symptoms of anxiety. However, they can also be symptoms of another issue, another problem. Now let's go ahead and discuss some of those other conditions that might mimic anxiety, those mirrored um, symptoms that could be one or could be other. Those could include, just depression, ADHD, thyroid disease, I don't know, PTSD, panic disorder, or it could simply be the environment that you're around, the people you're around, what's going on, what you're listening to, um, what's your overall environment. Each of these conditions have a unique features, have unique features, and they can be present symptoms like you have with anxiety, and they can overlap anxiety. For example, let's talk about depression. One with depression might experience excessive worry, while somebody with ADHD might struggle with focus and being restless. So, what do you do from there? How do you figure it out? The best thing to do is look at a few things. When did the symptoms start? Are there any specific triggers? How do these feelings affect your daily life? And then lastly, have you noticed any physical symptoms like changes in appetite or your energy level? Taking time to really reflect on those things can provide some clarity. But remember, self assessments aren't always enough, right? If you're feeling that you're unsure, go ahead and talk to a professional, reach out. It's crucial that you do understand to get a better understanding. And they can help differentiate between, anxiety or is there something more? And they do that through proper assessment. And that's the important part. Um, the other part about that, I said it could be your environment, the people you're around. With that, let's say this: I am a calm, chill, relaxed person. I really do not have a lot of worry, fear. I don't have a lot of restlessness. I don't have a lot of these symptoms that we're speaking of. However, if you put me in an environment where people are always like, worried, fearful, restless, moving around, jumping around, if you put me in an environment that is loud, or you put me in an environment where people are talking negatively, like, I feel so bad, and this, it gives me anxiety. I can feel my body change, right? I can feel the mood of myself change. Is it anxiety? Sure, it's a short case of anxiety. And I say short because how long did it affect me, right? It's not like I have it every day, all day. It's not like it's having effects from work. It's not like my life is being affected. It's that moment that is affected, right? It's that time, that environment, that space, those people that are affecting what I'm feeling. Okay. So when I talk about, how long has this been happening? Well, it's been happening since I was wee little, but it's not happening all day, every day. It's not even happening 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. It might happen once a month or twice a month. I've noticed that if I don't get enough sleep, that increases the likelihood of these things happening. And you know, could go to the doctor and say, yeah, I've been feeling this way every day this week. But the important part of that is to think about, okay, I also need to tell the doctor that I haven't really ate good. I'm skipping meals. I need to tell the doctor that I was up till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and only got a couple hours of sleep. I need to tell the doctor, you know what? Um, my financial status has changed because that's another one that causes a lot of worries for people. I need to be open to the doctor about all the things in my environment, because what might happen is he could say, that does sound like it's anxiety. And that does sound like symptoms of anxiety. But I wouldn't diagnose you with anxiety because you said this only happens once a month. You said this has only happened once every 6 months. They're going to take all the information provided just as a mental health therapist would, and they're going to be able to break it down, see where you actually stand. Is it anxiety or is it something else? I might go to my doctor and tell him that I have had this every day and that it's impacting me going to work, and I'm not able to sleep because I'm just restless and I can't close my eyes and my mind won't stop. That's when he would be like, okay, let's dig deeper in this. Do you need a diagnosis with anxiety? That's what they're for. Therefore, that's what mental health therapists are there for. But the thing with that is that you have to be open and honest. You have to share accurate information, because unless you're willing to share all of the information, they will not be able to properly diagnose you. I have had tons of people come through my office, and I have had half of those people come through and say, man, I'm so anxious. I have anxiety and I have worry and I have fear. And then when you talk to them, you're like, oh, so for this situation, you had anxiety, you had fear. Let's see how you manage that the next time that you have that same situation. For example, like me, if I don't get enough sleep, if I've made my situation worse and I know that there's going to be a tidbit bit of anxiety, I have learned that if that's the case, I need to sit down before I start seeing any clients, and I need to write about my day, what it's going to look like, how I'm going to make it be the best day that it can be. And then once I've done that and kind of released my anxiety already, once I've, discussed with my pen and paper what's going on, what I notice is that even if I'm exhausted, I don't feel those overwhelming feelings. I don't feel that it's going to be a bigger issue. Am I saying people don't have anxiety? No. Matter of fact, I am not going to say that most people don't have anxiety or experience it to some degree. you know but when we go into diagnosing as a mental health therapist, as a doctor, as somebody that's a professional in the field that is able to diagnose, what we do is we use a set of rules, and those set of rules tell us, okay, we've got to look at this and that. When did these feelings start? Is it only happening at certain times? You know, what effects do they have on your daily life? You might worry all day, but if it's not affecting you, it could be something else. The physical symptoms, are you having issues with anything further, that deals with maybe your thyroid, like I said? I just don't think people realize that it's always not as simple as saying, I have anxiety. And to me, that's very important. I think it's important that we become mindful and we pay attention to our feelings, our thoughts, our bodies, and what's going on. And I think it's important that to take away from this, if you are experiencing any feelings that I spoke about, restlessness, the worry, the fear, the whatever it is, if you're feeling any of that, I'm not saying you don't have anxiety. I'm saying reach out for help. I'm saying that there's people out there that have trained and became professionals in those areas to be able to help you get that diagnosis. And it's only important, it's really important that you get a proper diagnosis. Because if I diagnosed you off of one set of, symptoms for 1 week or one day or one situation, and I diagnosed you, and then I'm like, you might want to speak with a psychiatrist or talk to your primary care doctor and see if there's any kind of medical intervention. You don't want to start medication just because you feel that one time was bad. You want to get an idea and grasp the understanding that, yes, you might have some worry. Yes, you might have some restlessness. Yes, there might be some of those symptoms going on that mimic anxiety, but it doesn't mean that that diagnosis of anxiety has to be there. I know I have anxiety. I'm not going to say that I don't. Of course I have anxiety, but I don't have it to the degree of it affecting my daily life, because once I was able to hone in on, okay, what's causing these feelings? And once I was able to explore what's going on around me, I was able to identify coping skills that help me, ways that I can regulate myself, and I'm not seeing these symptoms as I was. They're not affecting me on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to talk to somebody if you're feeling any sort of these symptoms. If you're feeling restless, if you're feeling worry, if you're feeling that you can't sleep, or you're having changes in your day-to-day life, or it's affecting you in any ways, please reach out. Let them do a proper assessment on you. Let them differentiate. Is it anxiety, or is it another condition? Is this what we need to look at and treat, or is this what we need to look at and treat? Because guys, though anxiety isn't one of those crippling diagnoses, you definitely don't want to, feed that into more than what it is. And if we can get you in the right direction to get you the proper help and to discuss things with you and give you some tools or some ideas, or lead you in the right direction, like, hey, maybe you need to go see a primary care, that's what we're here for. That's what assessments are for. That's what this type of work is for. So I hope that you guys understand that I'm not saying that you don't have anxiety, because you very well could. But we also need to look at the bigger picture. We also need to understand if it is anxiety or if it is something else, because who doesn't want to know what's truly going on? So if you like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have any comments about this video, if you have any feedback or encouraging words or ideas or questions, go ahead and comment below. Let's support each other. Let's let each other feed off of each other and see what each other say. Let's have a conversation, because understanding your feelings is a journey, and we want to make sure that we're doing it right. And it's great to have the support. So please remember again to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great evening. Bye, guys.